I and many of my team members work from home. Describe what it takes to create a wellness-centered culture people want to belong to. Avini is doing this on the business scale. How do individuals do this? Is that a fair question?
Good
Yeah.
one.
Okay, because if you look at the Avini culture, Avini has created events, big events twice a year, Vegas and Orlando. And of course, last weekend, they had one in Boca Raton. So they're creating events where people can all come together, where they can offer training, where there are new products revealed, there's product education, there's camaraderie, there's social networking, there's everything is there in the Avini culture. Not only that, but almost daily calls, right? Different times of day, daily calls. Dave Johnson has his, Tony has hers, Robin has hers. There are all these calls that are available to everybody that is part of the Avini culture. There's WhatsApp, there's the AviniHealthTraining.com, so many things that Avini has created and individuals in Avini have created as this wellness-centered culture. My question is, how do we do that as individuals? Well, of course, we tap into the Avini culture. We tap into what they have going on. We go to the events. We join the calls. We listen to the testimonies. We share from the app, we share testimonies, we do all of that, but I wanted more. So here's what ChatGPT suggested. I it won't happen by trying to motivate people harder. So my job is not to motivate you ever, really. I mean, we're not doing that. When I'm on the phone with Bev, she's definitely not motivating me. I'm self-motivated. Are you self-motivated? Would
Yeah.
would you say you are? I think many of you are
Hmm.
self-motivated. Yeah. Um, that approach burns out fast, especially with home-based practitioners who already carry a lot energetically. A wellness-centered culture people want to belong to grows from something quieter, more consistent, and far more powerful. Are you ready for this? A shared rhythm of living, not a set of instructions. What Avini does at scale, you translate into something intimate, human, and repeatable in everyday life. So one of the things, of course, that I'm doing is here right now, Saturday mornings. Can you count on this most of the time? You
Yeah.
know, yeah, okay. And I feel this is an important part of our family culture. It gives us more of an intimate connection. We talk about things that are going on, and I hope we inspire each other. I feel as though over time I've been able to connect a few people with each other so that you can help each other. Yes?
Hmm.
Okay. So the core shift. Most groups organize around goals, sales, training, outcomes. Sound familiar?
Hmm.
A wellness-centered culture organizes around how people feel when they're building their life, how supported they feel, how aligned their actions feel, how consistent their energy becomes, and that's the difference. Sometimes ChatGPT is a little weak in how it says things. Don't write this down. I have it all for you on a document. I have an email ready to go to send it out to you as an attachment. Do not worry about this. So they don't stay because of information, they stay because I feel better here, right? People
Hmm.
only join something when they feel like they're a part of something, right?
Yeah.
You feel like you're a part of something. You feel like you're a part of Avini. Avini's doing a pretty good job of taking good care of us individually or in large groups. And people like me and Bev are creating opportunities for us to get together in smaller groups. And that's what a lot of Avini leaders are doing is they're creating opportunities for their small groups to come together. So that's how we begin to support each other. Um, so here's a personal rhythm. I'm going to jump down a little bit. It doesn't start with messaging. It starts with what you do repeatedly. In other words, not just once, not just twice, not just when you feel like it. This is repeated action. Are you grounded when you first start in your day? Do you pause or do you push through? You know, this isn't a workout.
Mhm.
I know what workouts are. Elita knows what a workout is, but Elita knew when to get off her bike and not push through, right?
Mhm.
She knew when to pause. And it's the same thing when we are doing business. I know that if I've got construction going on in my house, I don't do any healing work. It's disruptive to me. So we know when to pause and we know when to push through. And are you creating space for something to happen, or does it feel like it's urgency? Well, at the end of the month, it might feel a little urgent, but it doesn't have to feel urgent if all of the things are falling into place during the month. You see, it's not a race to a finish line. It's a steady, steady activities that will help, which will offer you um, insight into what you really want, your desires. And do you embody what you teach or do you explain it? I think Star started out with the greatest piece of win. She remembered a question of, have you thought about how heavy metals are interfering with your health? I mean, that's teaching. That's something she embodied. She knew, she embodied that question so it could easily come out of her mouth. And it wasn't explaining or teaching anything. It was because she remembered it and she's living it. We're all living it, right? We live that. And the more we live that, the more easily the words flow out of our mouths. Okay. Consistently. Oh, I love the word magnetic. That's magnetic. You don't just teach wellness, you live inside it, and that's magnetic. Magnetic means you're attracting people to you. You're attracting people to you because you are living wellness.
Mhm.
You are shining. You are riding your bike. How many miles did you ride your bike, Elita?
It was altogether 63 miles.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
How long did it take?
The actual ride itself, probably with all the stopping and stuff and walking 6 hours, which isn't bad for a huge climb.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a decision that was made. And by the way, Elita just didn't show up at the starting line saying, okay, I'm here. Now what? She
Hmm.
prepared for this.
Hmm.
She prepared. Sometimes she wouldn't be on our call because she was out on a ride. And she was working out and she was hydrating and she was using our products and she was doing what it took in order to do the big thing, to do the 6 hour ride, to do the 5,000 feet climb, to do all of that. And because she did that, she's living it, she's embodied what she wants, and it's going to attract more of that like-mindedness to her. And same for all of us. If you're living it, you're going to attract it. So there's a way of speaking that helps to regulate people, yourself, right? Are you calm? Um, Clear? Are you capable? You're not so overwhelmed. You know, people I talk to are really overwhelmed. A
Hmm.
lot of them. They're very stressed. They're having trouble dealing with what they're dealing with. Maybe it's a new diagnosis or a pain, and they don't feel grounded. So when they're talking to you, are you the grounded one? Are you the one who's capable, who is able to share? Are you that person? Are you steady, clear, anchored, right? Of course, ChatGPT is talking to me, so it's talking about Rosemary voice. I'm pretty calm, yeah, except when I get excited. I'm still calm. Okay, shared language that builds identity. So these are some of the words I use. Feel like you want to use them? Great. Less burden, more life. The body is intelligent, right? We use this one a lot. The body knows how to heal, we say. Well, the body's smart, smarter than we are. Well, let's get rid of interference. Have you thought about how heavy metals are interfering with your healing process? And how are you supporting your liver, your kidneys, your brain? How are you supporting your gut? We talk about support all the time, right? And creating balance. We talk about creating balance in order for people to be able to be their maximum wellness so that they can shine. I love the word shine, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when you're shiny, and Marcy always talked about being shiny. That's why she wore sequined
Mm.
clothing, because she said she always told God she wanted to be the shiny one so God could find her.
Oh.
So shiny, we want to be shiny, and that comes through with our skin tone. And that app that I mentioned before that's measuring your biometrics, technology can tell if you are sad by your facial expression. It can tell by your skin tone and other things about it. Can tell a little bit about who you are and your health by reading your face. And we do that as humans, face to face, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can you tell when somebody doesn't feel well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Their skin is, I mean, when I had COVID a couple months ago, I looked in the mirror, I thought, oh my God, this is what death looks like. It was awful. It was pale and almost blue skin. It was like, oh no. But a healthy face, a smiley face, a happy face, a calm face, a friendly face. This is what people know how to read. So you don't need to rely on a facial scan app. You can just rely on your own intuition, your own experience to read how people are feeling. And for animals too. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you know by the animal's body language how they are feeling too. Yeah. So, simple, repeatable practices. I thought this was good. If things are too complex, you're not going to get anything done, right? If all these instructions here, do this, this, nobody's going to do anything. But if you embody this practice of, are you aligned in the morning? Are you grounded? How's your energy today? What's your one consistent thing that you're going to do? What's your consistent Avini products that you're going to take? I've heard Star say this before. I take this and this and this and this, in the morning. Me too. I do that in the morning. I do that in the evening. I have my specific supplements that I use all the time. I'm using all of the Avini products. So I use what I need when I need it, and I'm consistent with it. I bet you are too. Yeah, I bet you are too. And how about grounding yourself? Take a breath. Sometimes you need to take a breath. Sometimes you just need a glass of water with hydration to clear your mind. Hydration can actually clear your mind because water is used by every aspect of the body. It aids in all of the biochemical reactions, and our Plus Hydration has detoxolite in it. Of course, it's going to help clear your mind. Of course, it's going to help relieve any pressure or tension that you have. Absolutely, yes, because of the electrolytes in it. All right, so a visible lived experience. Here's where most groups miss the mark. They talk about results, but they don't show the process.
Mm.
Hmm. So your culture strengthens when people share what they're experiencing. That's a testimony, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's shifting? I shared with you today how my experience with planting has shifted. I used to ask for help. I'm not asking for help anymore because I'm stronger. I'm more flexible. I can do it now. And I told my instructor yesterday, gave her a hug. I said, I'm stronger now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a difference. That's a shift, right? When you can say, I'm stronger now, when
Mm-hmm.
things are back in place. Um, when you share what you're learning, what's becoming easier? I heard from Star that it was very easy. It almost rolled off her tongue. Have you thought about how heavy metals are interfering with your healing? That's that's because you've embodied it. It's becoming easier to say those things. And I heard you say, can you do me a favor? I know you're going to buy it anyway. Can you buy it now? That's embodying it. That's when things become easier, when you become a little bit braver because you know that this is good for everybody and you want to make sure everybody gets the benefit of what they're using. Um, are you sharing where you struggled and where you found support? Well, we do a little bit of that on the phone, one-on-one. with with each of you. I've heard your struggles. I've heard your enthusiasm. Let's talk one-on-one about that. We don't have to do it in a group setting. And this is not actually training, but it kind of is because we're building a wellness-centered culture. That's what we're doing. Building a wellness-centered culture is um, not exactly training, but it kind of is. So we're growing a wellness-centered culture that doesn't rely on, let's get it done, sign up three to sign up three. Guilt, comparison, performance pressure. We don't have any pressure here. We celebrate, but there's no pressure. And forward movement without emotional strain. If you have an emotional strain, I know I won't see you for a while. And that's when we get on the phone and we talk about what was in the previous one, struggles, wins. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Because I'm not here to make anybody do anything. When um, when I listen to MJ has said repeatedly on his podcast, you become your own guru, your own motivational coach, and he teaches us how to do that. So we have to rely on our inner strength, our inner power to do what it is we want to do. And that's going to get to my next topic shortly. And we, of course, want to have connections that feel human. Um, the connection has to be consistent, accessible, low pressure, real. You know, it's not what MJ said on one of the podcasts I listened to recently, accountability, repeatable, the goals, all the, boom, 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 what those kinds of trainings have taught people to do. And some are able to do it. Maybe 1% of the people are able to do that kind of training, but most people are not. Most people are work at home people, stay at home people, just have a heart who wants to help other people. And that's where we can really make a difference because there are so many people in the world just like us who could use a little help with their health and with their financials and with connection to society and community. It's all part of the big picture. So, weekly touch points, well, that's kind of what we're doing on Saturday morning. We open conversations and, deeper gatherings, I think yeah, see, your Saturday wellness chats already do this. Yes, ChatGPT knows me. I'm going to skip the app vision piece. Okay. Daily and weekly rhythm is what ChatGPT offered. And I said, yeah, let's build that. What does that look like? Daily and weekly rhythm. So I'm going to scroll down here and This is the document I'm going to send you. Daily flow. So daily you have a practice. Think about what your day is. When I am just in the waking up mode, I think, okay, today's Saturday. Saturday, I have my wellness chat, and this and this and this is going on, and then that's going on. I've already got it in my mind of what I'm going to be doing because I've already thought about it the day before, and I'm thinking about it on the day. And so everything becomes a part of a daily ritual. Then you continue to go through the day, noticing things, and you engage with people, you continue a conversation, you follow up with people. And then a weekly flow is you have a sense of direction that helps align you and helps move you forward. Sometimes you need a little something to move you forward. And that's where I wanted to highlight what MJ said in a recent conversation I was listening to. Again, you don't have to write this down. I'm going to send it to you. Let me, how do I do this? I need to pause the recording. No, I'm not pausing the recording. I'm not pausing the recording. I'm stopping the share though. There. Okay. So in one of the recent podcasts I was listening to, he was talking about how he had been gaining weight. He was getting in shape, round as a shape.
That's
No,
funny.
he was wearing loose hoodies. His good suits, his tailor-made suits weren't fitting him anymore. He was noticing how he was getting out of shape. He was dissatisfied. And so noticing these subtleties of dissatisfaction, he wasn't doing anything about it yet. He was just noticing it. Ooh, sometimes I feel this way. Ooh, I notice, gee, I've been in Ruby Land for a long time. What does Emerald Land look like? Why am I not in Emerald? How come everybody else is ranking up and not me? Have you ever felt like that? Have you
Oh,
ever
yeah.
felt like, yeah, why is everybody else ranking up and not me? Right? So there's this dissatisfaction and you notice it. How many times have I said to Bev, how did you get to be diamond now? And what do I need to do to be emerald? Why am I not emerald yet? Right? It's dissatisfaction with my rank. People are dissatisfied often with how they look, how they feel in their body, and they tolerate it. Now, MJ didn't talk about this, but tolerating.
Mhm.
Tolerating it is a way that people live with themselves with their dissatisfaction. They tolerate it. It's actually a defense mechanism, tolerating things. It's a defense mechanism. It keeps you from feeling bad about yourself. Nobody wants to feel bad about themselves, right? So you tolerate things. You tolerate, I don't know, the clutter. You tolerate the fat in the middle. You tolerate the, I don't know, skin stuff or hair stuff. I don't know. You're
Yeah.
tolerating something, your relationship, your physical appearance, your weight. You tolerate it and you don't feel good about it. You're disgruntled about it, but you're not doing anything about it until, you ready? Until there's an awareness. You have an awareness that, oh, I've been tolerating this. This isn't me. This isn't who I want to be. This isn't what I
Mhm.
want to do. Well, an awareness explosion are the words that MJ uses. An epiphany. People have an epiphany, or they have a trigger. It's a word that I sometimes will use. There's a trigger that shifts things for people, that makes them think differently or do something different. But the only way the awareness explosion will work is if you have a desire. You need to have a desire. And this is what MJ has been talking to us about do you have desires? Is there a gap between where you are and where you want to be? Is there a gap? Do you want something? Do you want better health? Do you want a community? Do you want to be diamond? I mean, not just out there somewhere down the road in 5 years, but maybe by the next conference. What do you want? Do you really have a burning desire for that as much as, or to counteract the tolerance that you had? So the epiphany changes everything. It changes your mood. It changes how you feel. It's not like you're going to beat yourself up about not having something, about having too much weight, not good health, not the right living circumstances, the right relationships, whatever. You're not going to beat yourself up about that. That's not where we're going with this. You just have an awareness and it's like, oh, yeah, okay. And then things change because you're moving toward a desire. And when you move toward a desire, you can use everything that I'm going to be sending you on how to do that. It's not necessarily, outreach, outreach, outreach. It's attract, attract, attract. I'm not going against what MJ is saying, but I firmly believe that we are going to attract the people into our lives that we need to have in our lives. And we do that in part by putting ourselves in situations that align with our desires. Because if you are, I don't want to describe that person. Let's, if you are somebody who is not well, don't feel good about yourself, don't feel good about how you look or your situation, if there's something about you that you don't feel good about, you're probably not going to want to have social interaction that is positive and uplifting. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, if you feel good about yourself, you're going to look for other people who feel good about themselves.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. If you like to ride your bike, you're going to find other people who like to ride bikes. Yes?
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. If you like animals, you're going to take your dog to the dog park and get to be with other people who like animals. If you like if you like quilting, you're going to put yourself in a situation where other people also like to do quilting. Just for example, right? If you're a wellness person, you're going to put yourself in a situation where other people like to be well. They're not going to commiserate. They want to be well, and they're doing stuff to help them be well. Do you see how this shift
Mhm.
puts you in a situation where you can begin to attract to yourself the people you want?
Mhm.
It starts with you in here. How do you feel about yourself? Are you tolerating things, or are you, did you have that wellness awareness, that epiphany that will move you towards something that will attract people to you? Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
much easier.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to stop this and we'll talk more.